So the flag is over here over my right shoulder. If you'd all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may now be seated. Welcome again to a historic day, and welcome to winter here in the city of Savannah. An absolutely beautiful day to enjoy this today. It is the dedication ceremony for Susie King Taylor Square. Now, it was exactly 15 months ago, exactly 15 months, on the 10th of November, that City Council removed the name Calhoun Square. It was 9 months after that that City Council approved the name Susie King Taylor Square. It has certainly been a long journey. It's not just this day we get to. It's been a very long journey with the City of Savannah. Many, many partners who you'll hear from some today. A lot of community input and a lot of staff work and a lot of organizations have all stepped up to make this happen throughout our city of Savannah. In a very rare moment that happens. We'd like to first recognize several elected officials. Our mayor is with us, Van Johnson, who will anchor our speeches today. Also, several members of City Council in attendance with us as well. At-large Alderwoman Carol Bell, at-large Alderwoman Alicia Miller Blakely. District 1 is Bernetta Lanier. From District 2, Dietrich Leggett. From District 3, Linda Wilder Bryan. From District 4, Nick Palumbo. From District 5, Dr. Estella Shabazz. And from District 6, Curtis Purty. Other elected officials, if we could have a round of applause for our two former mayors, State Rep Edna Jackson and former Mayor Dr. Otis Johnson. Woo! Also, State Rep Al Williams is here. Thank you for joining us.
All right, there he is.
And I had an opportunity to speak with Sheriff Wilcher before us, who grew up in a house about 3 houses down,
Right down
this
the
road
street.
right here, and this was his
Yes, he
stomping
did.
grounds in his earlier years. So Sheriff Wilcher, thank you for joining us. From our executive team, you'll hear from our city manager, Jay Melder, in just a bit, and definitely all of Team Savannah putting the work together. We have a wonderful event, and we're going to start off appropriately. Some of our youngsters from the Susie King Taylor Community School Children's Choir to bring us our very first musical selection. The audience is all yours.
Woo!
Thank you all, the children's choir. And if you want to hear more, they will be returning to this stage right after our dedication ceremony today to sing some more to kick off our afternoon community celebration. I'd like to also thank our school board president, Roger Moss, who has joined us as well today. Now it's time for our city manager, the chief executive of our city of Savannah, Jay Melder.
There's absolutely no following that. It's an overwhelming sight to sit here on the stage and see Savannah come out for such a special and historic event. As city manager, I have the esteemed honor and privilege to serve mayor and council, great leaders of our city, and also to represent more than 2,600 public servants who serve this community every day. Many of those hours are engaged in work that is hard, that is thankless, but that is absolutely necessary for the vibrancy of our city. And so when we, Team Savannah, get to come on a Saturday morning and work on an event like this and take care of a special place like this and lay into the bricks a new name for this historic square. It's what public service is all about. And I want to take a minute to thank all of Team Savannah for what I know is the culmination of a lot of hard work and a very, very great day that they get to enjoy with all of you. So thank you, Team Savannah, from on fire, our partners, our archivists. When we embarked on this journey to name the square, Mayor and Council, it was one of the most, the initiative where we had the most public engagement that we could count so far as data could show. And for those of you who watched or witnessed or were in council chambers when 14 wonderful citizens came to pitch their applications for the naming of the square, it was one of the most heartwarming and moving nights of my professional career. And I would urge every one of you, if you haven't seen those presentations and if you haven't seen the civility and the love from which everyone came to that chamber to talk about this square and how we might honor great Savannians and great public service, it's really something to watch. You'll be very proud of your city and the place that we all call home. But just like the hard work of public service, where many times the choices are between two things that aren't perfect. In this case, there was a clear choice. There was a clear and present choice for whom we should honor in the square. And I want to thank Sister Pat Gunn and the Susie King Taylor Center for Jubilee.
Woo woo! Oh, yes.
And so on behalf of all of Team Savannah, I want to share our sentiment. In her memoirs, Susie King Taylor wrote of the Black soldiers of the South Carolina Volunteers for whom she nursed and for whom she taught during the war. She said, "For long and weary months, without pay or even the privilege of being recognized as soldiers, you labored on, only to be disbanded and sent to your homes without even a hope of reward." We know that Susie King Taylor also labored on for years. We hope now, in some small way, too many years too late, that this historic square, now named in her honor, stands as a place of hope for all who labored for freedom and a tranquil place of reward for the service they gave to all of us. On behalf of Team Savannah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you much for your support of what is and what will always be Susie King Taylor Square. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Co-founder of Savannah's own Susie King Taylor Center for Jubilee, which was founded a decade ago. Her passion is sharing her history and culture with others. Now she's Gullah Geechee and a master storyteller. So please put your hands together and let's welcome Sister Pat Gunn.
Woo! Woo!
Grand afternoon, Savannah. I am so honored to be here in this space and place on this day. I had a fabulous speech that I stayed up 3 nights to write, and I walked out the door this morning and left it. It's okay. It means that you have to know your own heart. And so I just want to begin because I know we're on a time limit. I'm Gullah Geechee, so I can talk pretty fast, you know.
That's right.
I want to say that this is such a sacred moment. I played at this square. along with so many other people that are locals, the May Day and all of that. But I want to tell you, there were benches there, just small benches, and I would sit in this square and I would wait until my mother and my auntie and my cousin got off work at Wesley United Methodist Church. And she would give me some spending money, my mama would. And she said, go after you finish your homework to the store right next to Massey and get something to eat. Well, this was in the 1960s, the early 60s, y'all. And so I want to just kind of take you back for a moment, and I promise I'll bring you back to 2024. Can I do that?
Go on.
I want to say that I had to write a note, and I had to stand by the confectionery there, and I had to ask someone that was white if they would take my note and my money and go into the store, because we in the early 60s was not allowed to go in the store. Representative Al Williams is here. He's from Liberty County. He's my cousin friend, you know. And so I want to just say I had 10 brothers and sisters, and so all of us knew the rules. You just have to ask permission and someone will get your treat. And so 55 years later, I stand before you and say that this speech or 5-minute gig that I have is dedicated to all of those women and men from that era that toiled on the streets of Savannah during the times of segregation. This is dedicated to all those enslaved folks here that are entombed under this ground. So this is really now a sacred place and space.
Yes, it is.
Where they can have some peace. I want to share with you that we started this journey 3.5 years ago because someone said there's some bodies down here. And so I went down to look in the Gullah Geechee community. We say we went to have a look-see. So I went and had a look-see, and sure enough, there are burials under this square as well as Whitfield Square. We began to talk. We began to work with the city, and I want to commend the city of Savannah. Right now, I want to commend you for the way it's working. You see, we put an application in, and then I realized with my 30 plus years in social justice, hey, you got to go get you some people. And so, Sister Juanita, I love you. I want to tell you, I went and got some people, but the people actually were sent to me by a higher power. So I want to say kudos and have the coalition members wherever you are to please just stand or raise your hand and let folks know that it was people from all walks of life, all shoes. Thank you. To build a safe space for Father David Murray, who is also a member of our organization. I know now why I left that orange book home with my notes in it, because if you are going to be in the business of righteousness, you got to be a truth teller. And so I want to share this with you because it's so important. And Sister Roz and I know this journey because we met Dr. Pat Stewart in Liberty County at a water conference given by my sister friend, Hermina Glass Hill. It was Hermina Glass Hill that educated us on who Susie K. Taylor be. And so I want to pay homage to the sister for doing that because we found Susie K. Taylor and we found Dr. Pat Stewart. Now, I want to also say when you start calling names, you're getting a lot of trouble. But I do want to say that I want you to understand that it took bravery to do this work. There were many times that we were trying to get 51%, that we were not safe to walk this square and knock on doors as African Americans. And so brave neighbors from around this square says, I'll go. And so I want to pay homage to the neighbors around this square that were brave enough to do that. Around this square, around this corner, they helped us. I hope and pray there will be a safe day for me to come to this square and sit alone and have peace. I want this square to be a sacred place. I want this square to be a place where little chocolate girls can come and say, I can be another Susie King Taylor in another season. Yeah. I want you to know that Eric Saul, military historian on our board of directors, he has put an application in for us for Susie King Taylor because she never got her veterans pension or she never was acknowledged as a veteran. So we have sent an application into President Biden so that Susie King Taylor and General Higginbottom will get a gold medal of honor for their service. It is for 4 things. I'll go to my feet. I want you all to get this because it took me a long time to get there. I am a daughter of the soil of Savannah. I am the 7th child of the 7th child of a 7th child. I am 4th descendant generation from enslavement, and I want to share with you that on this journey, if you do the math, I am 60 and some change. If you do the math, then I was with that group that represented people like Angela Davis, Brother Emmanuel. I want to say that I was in that revolutionary movement. Yes, I was. I want to say I went to the White House in 2015 for a performance, and I whispered to somebody, "This is pretty good, Mayor Jackson, but I think I want to see the White House kitchen." And so, because my mom is a cook, I'm in the royal state, but I want to see the White House kitchen to pay homage. And so someone tapped me on my shoulder, like the 2nd grade teacher would do when you get in trouble, and they said, "Come with me." I want you to know all my comrades, like Sister Roz and those, they just disappeared. And they took me to an elevator, and around the corner from the elevator, I want to tell you, was Michelle Obama's mother, Mrs. Robinson. She said, "You want to see the White House kitchen?" "Yes, ma'am, I do." So we went in the kitchen there, and I said, "Ms. Robinson, I know you're from Chicago South Side, but you're originally from North Carolina. I've done my homework in your Gullah Geechee. So on a Friday night, what do you prepare when you just want to have some fun with your food ways?" And she said, "I have my own apartment, and I fix fried
Fish and grits and red rice. That's right. You have eat fish on Friday.
What do you do in this kitchen?" She said, "Come over," and she opened a cabinet that had a little turnaround, and there was a big black cast iron pot, like a Dutch oven, they call it. I said, "What do you do with this?" She said, "I fix oxtails." I said, "How do you fix it?" She said, "I stew it down, and I put it over a bed of jasmine rice, Alderman Bell." So I said in a very respectful way, "Ms. Robinson, I'm not trying to get in your business, but you gonna get you." And so here is what I want to share before I go to my seat. 32 years on the social justice journey gave me the tools needed to come back to Savannah and do the things I saw in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. I worked with the Mrs. Coretta Scott King, Hosea Williams, C.T. Vivian. I'm going to my seat. I'm trying to make a point. I want to tell you what I saw. I saw a 3-pronged effect. I saw them agitate America. I saw them educate America. And then I saw them organize America. So we came back to Savannah and we used that methodology to get this square. But as I go to my seat, I got to tell you one more thing. I got to put 4 more tools in that bucket for the 21st century. And this is for new generations out here. I want you to put truth telling, reconciliation, healing, and repair in that bucket because it's time for all of us to heal. And as I go to my seat, the lesson, Sister Judy Wilhite, my blue jacket, and I got to acknowledge my blue jacket, Linda Wilder Bryant. I want to tell you that here's the lesson that I learned. I learned that it is the heart and not the hue. Let me repeat that one more again. It is the heart and not the hue. If you do your work with an open heart, the higher power that you honor will send some people that will be used as the vessels to help you. Never do first person singular.
No.
Go get you some people. It's the heart and not the hue. Can I get an amen?
Amen. My God. Woo!
Thank you very much, Ms. Kelly. Wonderful. Susie King Taylor was born in Liberty County. She moved away when she was 7 years old, but she did return a while later. From the Liberty County Board of Commissioners, please help me welcome Chairman Donald Lovett.
Good morning.
Morning.
What a great day to be in the city of Savannah. To Mayor Ben Johnson, my friend, members of the city council, champions of the cause. I'm humbled and honored to stand before you as chairman of the Liberty County Board of Commissioners. If I may acclimate you, Liberty County is one of two counties in Georgia, not named for man or race of people, but for the cause of freedom. It is Liberty County that serves as the home of two signers of the Declaration of Independence in the persons of Button Gwinnett and Lyman Hall. In more recent years, currently it boasts as the home of the 3rd Infantry Division. I have with me today a delegation of Liberty County persons, my people, if you will, who have traveled to support, commemorate, and witness this momentous occasion. Would you please either stand or wave your hand if you're a Liberty County resident?
All right.
Do you know, my people, with me is the spirit of Reverend William A. Golden, the father of education for the enslaved in Liberty County, and state legislator during Reconstruction. Do you know, my people, with me in spirit of Sharper, William A. Golden's grandfather, and his fellow traveling evangelist Tony and Mingo, who preached the gospel to the enslaved in the absence of Reverend C.C. Jones, a name you should recognize, as he was the father to one of your previous mayors, Charles C. Jones Jr. With me today is the spirit of Reverend Floyd Snelson, an African-American Republican leader, educator, and religious leader who elevated the school at Golden Grove, you know it as present-day Midway, to the historic Dorchester Academy, where the former enslaved revered as the College of Liberty County. This same Dorchester would serve as a civic, social, and financial center of activities for African Americans in Liberty County. Today, Dorchester is one of 11 sites on the National Civil Rights Trail in Georgia, and will provide a safe refuge for training and strategizing for Dr. Martin Luther King, Andrew Young, Ralph Abernathy, Fred Shuttleworth, September Clark, Dorothy Cotton, and over 2,000 teachers and leaders. It was at Dorchester where Project C was planned that led to the end of segregation in Birmingham, Alabama. That was one of the first major victories in the civil rights movement. I often say America owes Dorchester a great debt of gratitude for what Dorchester contributed to American history. Do you know, my people, blood of my blood and flesh of my flesh, I lift up my maternal uncle Milton Martin Jr., gunnery sergeant Milton Martin Jr., Congressional Gold Medal recipient and Liberty County native for his service as a Montford Point Marine, the first Black Marines who under treacherous conditions were the first to integrate the United States Marine Corps. Also with me in spirit is the Honorable Carrie Kent Brown, former mayor of Walkerville in Liberty County, Georgia. One of the first African-American mayors elected in all of these United States of America. And in the essence of time, with me also is Deacon Ralph Waterman, a businessman, community leader, and organizer. And in 1960, the first African-American to seek political office in Liberty County since Reconstruction. And for whom a statue will be erected on the grounds of the historic Liberty County Courthouse. That's a good place to say it again.
Amen.
Do you know, my people? So we have gathered today on these hallowed grounds to share with the city of Savannah and to lift up one of our own, Susie Baker King Taylor.
Yes.
Do you know, my people, from Liberty County, we have come over return to you when it's needed most. Several years ago, I engaged a group of high school students in Liberty County to perform a bread casting ceremony. And the results of that was one Hermina Glassfield coming to Liberty County to do tremendous work in the life of Susie King Taylor. Please appreciate Hermina Glassfield. This past October, we cast our bread again, did we not? And we're here today to see us return when we need it most. Out from this gloomy past, on this beautiful 10th day of February, in the year of our Lord, 2024, still now we stand at last on Susie Baker King Taylor Square. In the hosting city of Savannah, Georgia, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. Yes. I am Liberty County proud to be here. Woo! I stand on the shoulders of so many who paved the way for this day. Do you know, my people, do you know Susan Baker King Taylor? Call her name, and she will live forever.
All right.
Thank you, Chairman. We want more music, more singers. We will bring them out. We are honored today to welcome the Wesley Monumental United Methodist Church Choir. Now they're going to be singing Elijah Rocks. Make sure you listen and check out the lyrics. Fittingly telling the story of Elijah, a prophet in the Bible who faced adversity and danger with courage and faith in the Lord. It is certainly a strong message of hope and resilience, and it is fitting for today. Please welcome Wesley Monumental Choir.
All right, Wesley.
Shout, shout, Elijah Rock coming up, Lord, Elijah Rock. Shout, shout, Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Shout, 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 Elijah Rock coming up. Shout, shout, Elijah Rock. Shout, shout, Elijah Rock coming up, Lord, Elijah Rock. Shout, shout. Elijah Rock, coming up, Lord, rock. Shout, shout, Elijah Rock, coming up, Lord, Elijah Rock. Shout, shout, Elijah Rock, coming up, Lord. Sing it to Lord, and come true. If I don't mind out, dear God. If I come and shoot, just stand on the rock where Moses did, walking Elijah Rock. Shout, shout, Elijah Rock. Shout, shout, Elijah Rock, coming up, Elijah Rock, coming up, Elijah Rock, coming up, Elijah Rock, shout, shout, Elijah Rock, coming up, Elijah Rock, shout, shout, Elijah Rock, coming up, shout, shout, Elijah Rock, coming up, shout, shout, Elijah Rock, coming up.
Thanks again to Director of Music Monica Deckel and the Wesley Monumental Choir from Wright. Of our elected officials in attendance, we also like to thank our state rep, Ann Allen Westbrook, has joined us, along with Tybee Mayor Brian West, joining us for today's event. We thank you very much for coming. Hermina Glass Hill heads the Susie King Taylor Women's Institute and Ecology Center. It is an organization that issues educational scholarships to deserving high school students in honor of Susie King Taylor. Glass Hill began lecturing on Susie King Taylor more than 15 years ago. So please put your hands together and let's welcome Hermina Glass Hill.
To my unbounded joy, you did it, Savannah!
Yeah!
Congratulations to Mayor Dan Johnson, to the City Council, to Pat Gunn and her organization, to those who led and let their voices be heard for change, transformation, and redemption. This moment is the prophetic perfect. This moment is the prophetic perfect because Susie King Taylor longed for this moment as memories of the Civil War during her days began to wane and memories of what the Civil War stood for in terms of 4 million enslaved people becoming self-liberated or liberated through the passage of the Emancipation Proclamation. All right.
Right.
There was a certain soldier of the United States colored troops. Yes, there were colored troops. And one soldier said, after escaping from his plantation, he had found refuge behind Union lines. And what do you know? He saw his former plantation owner come looking for him. And he looked up, standing behind the Union line. He looked him in the eye and he said, "Bottom rail on top, massa. Bottom rail on top." I am Hermina Glass Hill, founder and executive director of the Susie King Taylor Women's Institute and Ecology Center, the hometown of Susie King Taylor, where we have the only museum that's solely dedicated to the life and legacy of a Civil War nurse, teacher, veteran. She was a veteran. Yeah. And a shout out to everybody who's straight out of Liberty County who are present here today. As the former associate director of the Center for the Study of the Civil War era at Kennesaw State University, I have researched and lectured all around the world on the life and legacy of this great American heroine of freedom for more than 15 years. When she left Savannah in 1861, due to the uncivil war, she was enslaved.
Come on.
But when she returned, she was a free citizen, a trailblazing entrepreneur, innovator, educator, veteran who opened 2 schools in this city, 2 schools, a national and a night school, and a school in Liberty County. I can assure you, Mayor, City Council, Pat, your organization, and everybody who supported this cause, I can assure you that this revolution of unity in the city of Savannah community is one that will certainly make her proud. You ask, how do you know that, Hermina? I'm going to tell you. One would only need to go back to the source, her memoir, Reminiscences of My Life in Camp with the 33rd United States Colored Troops, late 1st South Carolina Volunteers, to understand the philosophy of Susanna Susie Baker King Taylor, which began to formulate here as a young girl in Savannah and in Midway. For this city is where Susie, as a young slave girl, worked alongside her mother Dolly, her grandmother, a clever, hired out enslaved washerwoman who knew how to play fool to catch smart to achieve her desired goal.
I love it.
Let's learn something today.
That's right.
From 7 to 13 years of age, young Susie weaved in and out of Bay Street and the surrounding streets and alleyways, full of dreams and imagination. She noticed George Wiley's auction house and human beings being sold to the highest bidder on the courthouse steps, while also observing the large ships in the Savannah harbor, toing and froing from faraway places like New York and Boston and England and France and the West Indies, importing foreign goods, foreign people with foreign languages and foreign accents, and exporting thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of bales of cotton, picked by thousands upon thousands of hands, fingers of enslaved men, women, and children. Can you see how this child, such as Susie, could dream a new reality in the milieu of antebellum Savannah and Civil War and freedom and Reconstruction? She was destined for greatness. Young Susie, here in Savannah, observed her mother Dolly, her covert rendezvous held in plain sight with free women of color like Mother Mary Matilda Beasley and Mary Woodhouse, as they picked out vegetables and whispered about secret schools at the city market. And as she and her Geechee sisters facilitated prayers and ring shouts on the outskirts of this city. Young Susie was also a witness to how her grandmother negotiated and bartered agreements with white mistresses who themselves, in a sense, were enslaved under patriarchy. Their only power exerted in secrecy with a slave woman who requested that they risk their own lives to teach her granddaughter how to read and write right there in their own home. It is this type of mentorship that caused her to rise to the occasion and become a leader during the Civil War, after the Civil War, in Savannah and in Boston. From these three specific examples I described, and there certainly are many, many more that you could read in Reminiscences. Everybody go and get a copy of Reminiscences. We get a sense of Susie King Taylor's philosophy. Yes, she had a philosophy. One, and here they are, 4 philosophies. Know who you be and remember who you be.
Come on.
Right. Know who you be and remember who you be. If you have read the memoir, she starts out talking about her ancestors for 5 generations. Let's get with our kids and tell them these stories about who they be. So